Sex and labor trafficking are multi-million-dollar illegal industries, and they leave a scar on those who escape and sometimes a criminal record.
With a recent law, people with convictions related to trafficking can get their records wiped clean. Kalisha Moore spoke to one woman hoping to clear her name.
So now I have 6 years of sex offender probation. I have a 7 to 7 curfew. I can't go see my family. I had to get a court order giving me permission to be around my own kids.
Melissa Griffin says those are the consequences she lives with after being a victim of sex trafficking. After a cycle of violent relationships, she says a boyfriend forced her into sex work.
Anytime we had any sort of disagreement, he would take my daughter, who was an infant at the time, and be like, if you don't do what I'm telling you to do, you're never going to see your baby again.
She eventually escaped. How? Prison. After becoming an accomplice to the very man she says forced her into a life of sex trafficking. She was hit with several charges, including enticing a child and sexual exploitation of a minor.
She ended up being an underage runaway from Florida. The police came and it just snowballed from there.
6 years ago, former Warner Robins police officer Lance Watson was on the team that arrested Griffin.
She was not arrested that day. She was arrested later on, simply because of the story that she gave pretty much needed some more looking into. And once we looked into it, it's like, okay, maybe she could possibly be a victim.
He takes responsibility for not communicating that to the DA. He says the system failed Griffin. Now he's an advocate in trying to get a record clean through the Vacator for Human Trafficking Survivors Law. She hopes that will give her a second chance.
From everybody that I've talked to about it, they say I'm the poster child for this law. It's almost shut and closed,
In Warner Robins, Kalisha Moore, 13 WMAZ News.
Kamala Zolfargi is the executive director with Street Grace. She trains attorneys who represent trafficking survivors in court.
So far, they've handled about 80 of these types of cases.
91% of adult trafficking survivors have a criminal record, the majority of which is a direct result of their trafficking. It holds them back from jobs, it holds them back from housing. And it really, it's one of these ongoing results and hindrances of their trafficking.
Zolfargi says victims and attorneys who want to help can contact their organization at streetgrace.org.